My boys are starting to get a little bit older, age 3 and 1, and already they're showing signs of love toward the game of basketball. Enrolled in summer camp for basketball and watching games with me, playing at home 24/7, bouncing and dribbling a ball, they love it. And it's not going to be too long before my eldest, who's 3 years old, is going to start watching Bulls games with me daily. And he's literally going to be asking me, Daddy, who's your favorite basketball player? Who's your favorite Bulls player? Boy, do I have stories to share. Stories that you and I have experienced together, watching Derrick Rose grow up and become the MVP that he became, the legend that he became, the Hall of Famer that he's going to become, and obviously now today, the retired NBA player that we can obviously talk about. I didn't expect to make a video like this, Team STG, because I could have... you only wish that he came back to Chicago before it was all said and done. But, this is just the way that his story has been written. It's a great story, and there's so much we can talk about, and I'm just kind of releasing my raw emotions out here. I'm not scripting this video, and obviously I'm releasing it on this main STG channel. I have another channel called STG Hoops where I'm more consistent, but this is the OG channel. This is the channel where we literally have witnessed this brother become who he is, and we shared a lot of great memories together with Team Hearts, his game winners, his injuries, and everything in between. And if there's one way that I can summarize, or one word that I can use to summarize our MVP Derrick Rose, that is resilient. Resilient. He is as resilient as they come. Derrick Rose, as a father of 2 kids, soon to be 3, I literally can't thank you enough for making my childhood the way it was. Watching you do what you did, literally being the face of Chicago, there was no better feeling than coming from school and watching you, Derrick Rose, do your thing, man. It's something we needed as a city. You gave us hope in terms of sports. You gave us hope, obviously, from a resilient perspective as well. You were doubted, saying, why can't you be the youngest MVP? Like, why? And these are all things that we're all going to cherish, right? You are somebody who's not only impacted us as hoopers, you've impacted us as a city, as a community, as a nation, as a world, to be honest, from the game of basketball, but just lessons of life as well. You're always going to be our MVP. You will always be referred to our MVP. And, D Rose, I don't know if you're watching this with Team STG, Derrick Rose has a special place in all of our hearts. The thing, guys, is Derrick Rose is one of those players who no one's going to hate on. You can't. It's impossible to hate on him because of what he's done for the league, the way he's portrayed himself, and the way he's had to overcome so many different battles. I can't even imagine it, man. Derrick Rose, obviously, the MVP, was literally just going up, 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 up. It was him and Russell Westbrook. We already know what happens. And then against the Philadelphia 76ers, he tears the ACL. One of the hardest things to witness as a Bulls fan, especially in the playoffs. But you know what? They had this huge return campaign for my man, and he ended up coming back, and it was so great to see, only to have another injury, and then another injury, to a point where D Rose literally had to go get traded to the New York Knicks. And you know me, I was really frustrated. I have a video on this years ago. And from that, he had to kind of shift and elevate his game and things of that sort. And he went through all these ups and downs. And then obviously the mental aspect wasn't there. Went to Cleveland for a bit. It just was not working for Derrick Rose. And he kind of found his game again in Minnesota, and that's why I'm so grateful for Minnesota, and I'm grateful for New York too, because New York gave him that second chance, and then obviously Minnesota really doing what they did, and obviously there's Detroit somewhere in there and everything in between. But man, the way that Derrick Rose was able to come back despite so many injuries and adversity and kind of change his game from one of the most athletic players ever to a player who still has athleticism but not banking on that, and has finesse and is a leader in a 50-point game. Are you serious? Like, the definition of resilient. The definition of resilient. And his story is something that I can't wait to share with my kids. And the stories and, the journeys that we had, you and I, Team STG, and everybody, I'm sure you guys have your own journey and stories of watching Derrick Rose. They're special, man. The game winners we had on NBA 2K with Derrick Rose. I have people who are literally messaging me, man, or commenting on all my videos saying, Sub, where's the video? You already know I'm making this video. Why? Because it's more than just a player that we revere. It's somebody who's impacted us in ways that we can't even explain. He's somebody who, when we look at him, it's not just his playmaking ability, his athleticism that we loved and things of that sort. It was the way he carried himself, the humility that he carried himself, right? I can think of multiple clips. All-Star Weekend, everybody's dancing and everything like that. Derrick Rose, just calm, subtle. I'm just glad to be here, dog. That's who Derrick Rose was. Came from, the Simeons of the world, bro. It's not like he was born rich. He came from down here, right? And he literally put Chicago to the map. Literally the game winner, one of my favorite moments he had against, LeBron in the playoffs. Ooh, the dunk he had against Goran Dragic. Ooh, man. Why can't he be MVP? He was MVP. He's always going to be our MVP. Team STG, I'm speaking from the heart. I'm still pretty speechless because this is not something I was expecting to make, as I said, but I have to kind of just speak from the heart. But Derrick Rose is 100%, in my opinion, a Hall of Famer. What he's done to the league, what he's done for the game, how he's inspired so many people. People retire, but all I'm seeing on my feed is NBA players talking about him, making posts about him, every single person I know sharing about this. Why is Derrick Rose still so high years after, his prime? Every year you go on All-Star ballots, who do you see in the top 10? Derrick Rose. Why? Because he's somebody that we all respect. He's somebody that we all love. He's somebody who taught all of us a lesson on perseverance, who taught us all the lessons on, on coming back and being resilient and having that mental fortitude to keep on going despite the pushbacks life hits you. He never was the guy to go party, all that type of stuff. And, he was focused on the game, focused on his core group of guys, focused on getting better, focused on reinvigorating himself in the game. Would have been nice to see more Memphis Grizzlies Derrick Rose with Ja Morant and company. Would have been even nicer to see him put on a Chicago Bulls jersey one more time. But look, man, I don't even care, bro. What he did, what he's done for us, we're always going to cherish it. We're always going to remember those memories. And I can't wait. I can't wait to tell my kids about it, man. Because as I said in the beginning, it was just something special. Day in and day out, like every game. It wasn't like, the Bulls, obviously, and I'll end off with this. They aren't where they used to be, right? They just aren't. But when we had Derrick Rose, it was the best thing we had since Michael Jordan. I'm just being real with y'all. Like, every game was like a movie. Literally, if you remember that time, every game when Derrick Rose played was a movie, bro. Like, you just wanted to watch a Bulls game. It doesn't matter who they're playing because of one person only. His name was Derrick Rose. That game winner against Kobe, ooh. D-Rose, if you ever are watching this, man, thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for overcoming what you had to go through. Thank you for showing us how to persevere despite injuries and setbacks. And thank you for just being you, bro. We respect you. We appreciate you. You're still young, dog. This ain't the end, man. I'm excited to see what you do next. Launch a shoe, make another book, whatever you got to do, man. Get into commentating. I don't know, man. Coaching, whatever. But we love you, bro. I appreciate you. It's crazy because when I started watching you, I was a kid. Screaming whenever I saw you. Screaming just so you can look at me. And if I see you now, I just give you a hug, man. Appreciate you, bro. Tough video to make, man. Team STG, thank you for the memories with Derrick Rose being a core part of it, man. Like this video if y'all enjoyed. Comment down below your favorite Derrick Rose memory. And make sure y'all subscribe if you haven't. And check out STG Hoops, man. Trying to be consistent there, bro. We growing that channel. Love y'all, man. D-Rose, you're always my MVP. Peace.